Is it blinking? All right, cool. We good. Come again.
Let him mercy. Yo. What's good, people? It is 3 broke niggas with 2 additional niggas. I'm sorry, 3 broke brothers with 2 additional broke brothers. I'm sorry, 2 additional brothers. These brothers ain't broke. We broke. We trying to get in a tax bracket right now. But you guys know who I am. I'm your host, Universal, aka Wax Groove TV. Brokest podcast, you know, the best podcast you never heard of. Shout out to all the love that we get from everybody out there. Y'all know the man to the right, Mr. Light Skin. And the one and only to the left. And I'm going to let these 2 brothers introduce themselves today. So I'm going to swing the mic to my left.
Yo, what's good? I'm James. I'm 1/3 of the craft crew. A Leo.
Swing it to the right.
What's going on? I'm Jamel, 2/3 of the craft crew. We missing our boy Antron. Shout out to Antron. Craft crew.
All right, so I do appreciate you brothers being on here on the show with us today. I plan on learning a lot of stuff from y'all because I'm ignorant to the whole craft.
Yeah, man, we appreciate it too. You know, y'all out here smelling like all this beer and all that. You know?
Yeah, just stole the mic. So I got something for y'all.
Appreciate it.
Let's keep that off right. Yes, sir. A little merch. Brokest. What size is that? That's a large? Make sure I got it right. All right, word. What size I gave you? That's a large? All right. So, that's large. All right, cool. So, when we kick these shows off, we always usually jump in, start off what we're listening to. So we're gonna go there with y'all. So just let us know what's in what's in rotation, what you listening to, what you feeling, not feeling. Who wants to go first?
I'll go. As of recent, I'll just say this week, rotation been Little Locks. I've been trying to listen to the new joint, but some old music been coming up in between. So, and Griselda and the Locks, really, lately. And then sometimes I slow it down, get a little R&B going in there once in a blue, but
Absolutely. I'm the only one. You know what? I'm the only one that talk about R&B.
really?
Yeah. They be front on the R&B, but I be in the crib getting my R&B thug on. You know.
Listen. I listen to R&B. I can't listen to a whole R&B project. Most of the times I can't. But I'm gonna swing it to the left. What about you? What's it?
So I have moments. So at times it's Benny, and then at other times it's Conway. Typically. So right now it's been Benny.
So West
as
is
of
your
late.
last.
Yeah, he's not trash by any means, but
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what? I've come to the conclusion for myself. When it comes to just like lyrical wordplay, I gotta give it to Conway. Conway he's lyrically the best out of the 3, but I think Benny has the best delivery.
he puts a picture. He paints a picture in the music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
But Benny just make you want to do an extra set of dips and slap somebody. You know what I mean? That delivery is just very fierce. He's fierce. It's the best way to put it.
But I agree. Yeah. Conway, I was having a discussion with him like probably a few months back. Conway lyrically, I feel like it's the best out of the 3.
Alright, so let's swing it this way.
Wow.
Yes, microphone.
All right, James.
I need one of them swoop stands.
The craft crew is speaking. Man, right now, I think the heavy hitters that I'm listening to mostly right now, aside from like the mainstream people, I'm a big Freddie Gibbs fan. Of course, I'm big on Griselda. I felt like Action Bronson is making slight comeback. Yeah.
Have you seen his Funk Flex joint?
Oh yeah, he
No,
bodied
Flex
that.
freestyle?
He bodied that.
No, so
Yes,
I missed that.
yes.
I seen like a clip of it on IG the other day, but I know he was on there. I know he lost like 125 pounds.
Yeah.
So he's in the gym heavy right now, you know, like shedding weight and stuff like that. I can't forget though, I'm also a real big Rock Marciano fan, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank
We talk about
Rock.
Rock.
Rock is that guy.
Rock Marciano, man. Not even just with, you know, like with him rhyming, like he's a great producer too, man. So he did a full, you know, like producer album, you know, producing all the beats for Stove God Cooks.
Talk to him.
Yeah,
Talk to him.
So I listened to that
him,
joint.
Jay.
So it's funny because I got a boy down in Virginia, my boy Charles. He's a producer too. But you know, every once in a while you get caught up in like the conscious type of rap, and you know, you start listening to heavy, you know, conscious rap like J. Cole and, you know, like Common and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like I grew up on not just conscious rap, but just, you know, like hip hop involves conscious rap and like the streets. So like I grew up on Wu-Tang, I grew up on Mobb Deep, I grew up on The Lox, I grew up on Rough Riders and stuff like that. So it was like a breath of
I
fresh.
ain't hear that event. Nobody mentioned Rough Riders.
Yo, it was.
I fuck with the Rough Riders.
Listen to that new Lox
I went
album.
to the
when
Rough
he's
Riders
getting Rough
Cash
Riders.
Money tour back in
Yeah, it was like it's a breath of fresh air when it's not bad hearing conscious rap by any means, but it's a breath of fresh air when you hear niggas, if I could say that, you know. Yeah, when you hear niggas,
Let it
you
out
know,
next
talking
time.
like that cocaine shit and like that street shit, and it's like, yo, and that's what my boy in Virginia was saying. He was like, yo, don't get me wrong, like I've been on the conscious rap wave for a minute, but like, goddamn, man, like for Griselda to come around with Conway and Benny and Westside Gunn to come back around and start spitting like that real like 90s shit again, it was like, damn, like fuck, man, like yeah. So that's who I'm rocking with right now, yo. I mean, of course, you know, I rock with Jamel and Bub over here with the R&B shit too. I'm a big Ari Lennox fan. I love Ari Lennox, yo. Like her album that she dropped last year, the Shea Butter, like, man, I still listen to that to this day. So
See, man, you're gonna make me start, you know, digging into my guilty conscience bag. You know, pull out my girl Janae Aiko on you real quick. That's my girl.
no, Janae Aiko was dope too, man. Matter of fact, I listened to her. It's crazy how I was listening to. Matter of fact, today I didn't listen to the whole album yet. But Big Sean dropped Detroit 2.
Right, I listened to it.
And I listened to that Body Language with Janae Aiko and Ty Dolla $ign on it. And it's crazy that like Big Sean used to date Janae Aiko. You know, they went through like a kind of a bitter breakup.
They
but
back
Holmes
now, though. They back.
Yeah, really?
Yeah,
Because
they
I'm
back.
like, damn, how Holmes get her on the track and they split up? I'm like,
that
damn, that's
feature
a
money.
game.
You get that feature money, your ass gonna get on that track. Feature money be real.
They rekindled that. So,
Yeah, Janae Aiko was spitting some crazy shit on that one right there. I was like, God damn. Talking about she'll ride you till she break your dick. I was like, all right. All right, Janae.
Like, all right, I quit.
Alright, so Esteban, you gonna hit him with the for the week?
Since he was all in the 90s, because that's where I was at this week, you know what I'm saying? I was listening to a lot of Wu this week, you know what I'm saying, on my runs and stuff like that, you know. Who else?
Hey yo, Spot Rush is still one of your favorite tracks?
I got many, man. You know how that be. Like,
Yeah, you used to know that song word for word when you were younger.
See, that's the thing with me. Like, I'm a repetitive dude, so once I hear a song, I play it and play it and play it and play it. But then you know what I'm saying, die off, and then I
come
go
back.
Yeah, or some whole new joint to come, and then I just forget about that joint, and that's how it be. So, you know, I started with Capadonna and Pillage, and from there it just took me down that whole 90s route, this whole week, whatever, you know.
Yeah, I want to make a bold claim about Capadonna real quick.
He dropped that album this year, dog. Yeah, I didn't
you know what? Yeah, I forgot about it. I ain't
listen.
check it out
I
yet.
did, yeah, I ain't
So
check it out.
Capadonna, right? He's got one of the essentially two of the illest verses in hip hop ever. That Winter Wars verse.
And I like his Hot 90.
97 mentality. That's why I said, because that's a song, but it's really just, it's like a 102 bar verse. 97 mentality and the Winter Wars easily top like some of the best track verses ever. But let them know what you've been listening to.
Alright, so. Oh.
My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, nah, because he cut you off earlier.
Oh, okay.
So, we ain't forget. Let me get the mic straight. Alright. So this week, you know, I was running back Ransom's project a lot. Ransom, cause you know, 3, right? Yeah. Wax had spoke about it last week, and at that point, when we were speaking about it, I haven't listened to it yet, but I honestly listened to it a good 10 times throughout the week. And Ransom ain't no goddamn slouch. Like, he's talking about yeah. Like Yeah. So the album, it wasn't like a lot of, you know, shoot 'em up, bang, bang. You know, he was speaking about, you know, like current events as far as like, you know, like Breonna Taylor, the police shootings and shit like that. So yeah. And the way he put his words together is like, the album is tough. But other than that, you know, I was running back, you know, King's Disease, Nas's new project, back and forth as well. Once again, the Rafer was in heavy rotation. I listened to that a lot this week. The Lox new album, I listened to that a few times. I only listened to that twice because like I was going back and forth with, you know, everything else. And like Jay had brought up earlier, the new Big Song just dropped today. So it's 21 tracks. And I was telling Mr. Esteban earlier, I listened to it twice today, but I kind of got like spoiled, because like 21 tracks nowadays with everybody else dropping like 8, 9, 10. It's like, yo, I kind of like, I'm gonna keep it funky too, because I listened to it on the train this morning and it kind of put me to sleep the first time. So I had to go back on them real quick. Sorry, Big Sean. You nice though. Sorry, Big Sean. But yeah, so what else I've been listening to? Oh, I was telling these guys earlier too that I was in my whip and I had came across this one DJ. He had a best of Mobb Deep playlist that I listened to, and there was a lot of tracks that, you know, I was unfamiliar with, but it was kind of like refreshing, you know, going back and, you know, listening to Prodigy's voice. And you know, we spoke about it last week that his death is still like unbelievable. To me, it's like it's like Kobe's death. Like, damn, why it had to be them? Like, come on, man. Like, it's just crazy. So other than that, musically, you know, right now, that's just, you know, the main few albums I've been listening to. You know, once I leave here tonight, you know, I'll probably slow it down like my man Mel said, you know, ride home to some smooth R&B. You know what I'm saying? A little something, you know? But, you pass the mic.
Alright. So, keeping it 100, I've been keeping it pretty simple. That new Lox that's been on rotation, that shit got me squatting 2 plates regularly now. You know what I mean? Normally I'd warm up with the 185, then put the 2 plates on. You know what I mean? I went straight to the 2 plates walking in there. 4 sets of 12. I'm lying, 3 sets of 12. That last set, I threw some 10s on the end of that. So I was like, all right, 245, I'm feeling good. So shout out to the Lox, because y'all, you know, push up and dip game be heavy when I listen to them. That Ransom director's cut. Shockingly, that Nas, because like I told y'all the first time I listened to it, that was a snoozer for me. But then went back, you know, Blue Benz gets me hyped, and I've been able to keep that in rotation. And I just want to touch on the R&B situation real quick. Big Snow Allegra fan. And you know what my issue is with R&B? So Pete, shows like,
my goodness.
listen,
Here he go.
no, like literally a minute. Boom. All right, you know how we watch Insecure week over week? We was faithful watchers of that.
Yeah.
Yo, there be some fire stuff on there, so I end up Shazamming like a track off of there. You feel me? And I just throw it in like a vibes playlist, and I never really go back and see what else, like what other fire that artists have, because I'd be tight if I like find this fire track and then everything else you put out is trash.
Yeah.
So R&B is like, it's iffy for me. You know what I mean? It's just weird. But yeah, that's it. I ain't gonna harp on the R&B thing. We gonna couple episodes from now, I'm gonna come through.
You know, since everybody talking about R&B, you know, shouts out to my moms, cause she put me on to all the R&B, you know, all that old school shit. You heard me back then, baby, you know, things like that and stuff. You know, the Joe, you know who I like? John B. Shouts out to that white boy.
You know what's funny about R&B and like soul and funk music? When you was younger, at least for me, growing up, like listening to that stuff, my mom, my uncle told me to play, and I used to be like, yo, turn this shit off.
Yeah,
Now, this shit come on, you be.
Yeah.
Hold up,
Ready
nigga,
to
hold
hit the
up.
taco meat out?
Hold up, about to bring it back, nigga. We used to go to 2001, where we used to bump when we used to go there.
Bootsy Collins.
Bootsy Collins!
No.
What?
But you can't talk about Bootsy. Nah, but yo, the way me and this dude got put on the Bootsy Collins, hella funny. Like, hold on. I'm gonna let you tell that story.
Hold on, I don't remember.
When y'all listen to Boosie, I listen to Rick James. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy. That's my guy. Yeah. Ricky James.
So, for Bootsy Collins, right? You know that I'm on the beat with you. Boom. Yeah. Boom. So, and Baby Boy, remember when Snoop was laying on the bed smoking?
Yeah.
So my man's was like, yo,
Skinny as
son,
hell.
Snoop look ill in that scene right there. Like, that's how you supposed to feel when you smoking weed? Like, that set the tone. So, dude's been hooked on that song ever since, because he was just laying in the bed like,
Crazy.
chilling, just straight zoned out.
There was like a Beyonce joint where she used that joint too.
She did a remake.
Yeah. So that
You know what's funny too? Now that you mentioned that, aside from Baby Boy, when I was watching that Straight Outta Compton movie, so forgive me, but the actor that played Dr. Dre, so he was laying on the floor in one of the scenes of the movie
beginning.
and just like
headphones on,
listening to
yeah.
a song, and it was always, you could tell it was that West Coast type of vibe, and I forget what song that he was listening to, but it ended up being one of the samples that was ended up on the Chronic.
Yeah.
And I want to say that it was not Parliament, it might not have been Parliament Funkadelic, but I think might have came from Roy Ayers, and I think it might have been Everybody Loves the Sunshine.
I think so.
But just that.
Right, he got it. Jay got it,
Yeah,
That is
like
it. That
damn,
is it.
man.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like so, like
Yeah.
that movie kind of put everything in like, everybody loved the sunshine. Yeah, and it's funny because like with my oldest son, he's 8 years old now, and like they tend to put. And that's a compliment, so I'll take that. But like from time to time, like in children's movies, they tend to put like that old school the music inside of the movies.
Yeah.
So not too long ago, like a couple months ago, we had watched the newest Trolls movie. So they and in that movie they were the main troll that was trying to take control of different genres of music.
Oh, she's trying to wipe out all
Yeah. So one of
rock and roll.
them was funk. So when my oldest son, he asked me about funk music, so I jumped on Spotify and of course I looked up Parliament Funkadelic and I was playing all that type of stuff, and I was like, yo, you hear like why must I chase the cat? Nothing but the dog. I'm like, yo, this is. I'm like, yo, Johan, because that's my son's name. I'm like, this is funk music right here. So when you were watching the movie, this is it right here. This is funk music. There's all different types of genres of music. Of course, like black people, man. Like, come on, man. Like, just give it up. Like, I'm. Yeah, yo.
Now they be singing them
this old school Wu-Tang documentary on Amazon Prime, where you know the footage is all like VHS type. You know what I'm saying? They got.
Is this when you got a Memphis arguing on the bus?
Nah, not that one. This was a totally different one. That's why I was intrigued to even like stumble upon.
This was just them though. This wasn't the one that they had with like Dave East and all that.
Nah, this was just them, and it was showing how they were on tour and stuff like that, and it was showing how it was showing how like they was talking about how ODB got into like drugs and stuff like that, and his uncle, or I can't remember if it was his uncle or if it was his big cousin, saying how when the Wu first approached him and was like, listen man, what you doing at this job? He was like, yo, as soon as they approached me, he said, yo, we about to hit the road. He said, man, I left my job. He said, I ain't gonna get my last check and nothing. He said, I ain't care about none of that. I just know these brothers was real and I was out. He's like, and I was with them for 13 years and never looked back. Yeah. So they, it was just to like see like all that classic footage of them when they first got the deal, and everybody got like naughty heads and nobody cared about jewelry back then. They
terrible teeth.
Yeah,
you ever look at Raekwon's teeth back in the 90s versus now?
Everybody had the brown or the black butter soft leather.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful,
but no. Yo, and so make a long story short, my daughter was like, and they playing the music and shit like that. My daughter was like, yo, man, we hear this song all the time, and me and my wife started laughing because that's factual. She only 8, but she see and she hear the music that we listen to all the time around her, and she like, Dad, these are the people that, this is Wu-Tang playing. So out of nowhere, she's like, yo, I want to rap too. Dad, I want to be like them. I'm like, yo, girl, pump your brakes. But nah, for real, could I make a song? Oh yeah, go ahead, make a song. But how? But anyways, long story short, man, just to go back and see like how they just started like from the ground up to where they at now as men, as like icons is crazy. You gotta respect our culture, baby.
Of course.
Indeed.
So before I forget, did any of y'all see that the battle that Method Man and Math Hoffa had?
I saw that.
You saw it? You didn't see it?
I saw it.
It was pretty dope. Meth did his thing. But while we on the teeth thing, because like I said, I wasn't trying to disarray, but on the Joe Budden podcast, they flamed this dude. So one episode, he's smiling, he got his veneers in or whatever, right? Joe Budden, he got his teeth done. So next episode, they lit his ass up in the comments. Chief Teeth, Pusha Teeth, Ice Teeth, yo, they went in on Joe Budden. Hilarious.
But he found it comical too.
Oh yeah, he found it hilarious. He took it like a champ. So I want to jump in to y'all brothers. Yeah. So I got a ton of questions. I want to know. Yeah, I want to know. Craft Crew. What's the Craft Crew all about? And I've seen you guys posting about different beers and IPAs and all that stuff. So, I mean, I'm a typical capital N GGA when it comes to the beer. It's either a Corona or a Heineken. So you got to fill me in on the IPAs and how all this stuff work. And, just I need the history of the Craft Crew as well. So who wanna start?
You want me to start?
Go ahead. Pull that to you.
Talk to him now.
Alright, so basically, I'll give you the history right quick. So, how did it all start? Oh, so he put me on the Blue Moons. Blue Moons is where it kind of all started.
That's the beer.
Yeah, so he hit me up like, yo, I got this beer, man. This shit is. I'm like, man, we don't fuck with beer. You know what I mean? He like, trust me. I mean, 'cause back then there was like, Hennessy and vodka and all kind of cognacs. Yeah, so he like, yo, trust me, man. You put an orange in this motherfucker and we setting it off. So I don't know if he came to my crib or I pulled up on him. Yeah, I mean, we had copped a pack of Blue Moons and from there I was hooked. So then, fast forward a little bit.
Mind you, this was like circa, not to interrupt, but this was like circa like 2008.
Oh yeah, this was
Yeah.
So yeah, we was drinking them for about
For
10
a long,
10 years.
long time, yeah.
So, fast forward, his wife ended up buying him like a craft beer glass set. So he was like doing research, found out, certain glass types had made beer flavor profile taste better. You can get the flavor profile out of the shape of the glass. So this dude goes wild.
You said so. The shape of the glass.
Yeah, so there's thousands of styles of beers. So like stout.
Stop. What is the reasoning behind that?
What's the you know the reason behind that?
Oh, stop.
Before you
Honestly,
Yeah, I'm curious how that affects the flavor.
if you wanna, I don't know if I can.
Projectile.
let's get this to this Leo, man.
All right, so not to cut off Jamel, James, but to answer the question here, as far as like the style of glass, why they came up with that shape of glass for a specific type of beers, I don't know. But what I do know is that when I received that beer glass set from my wife, like circa like 2016 for Christmas, it was a custom set that had my the initials of my name on it, JAW. Previous to that, we were stuck on to what the harp on what Jamel was saying. We were stuck on one type of craft beer, which was Blue Moon, and I tried that around like 2008. They throw lemons. I mean, not lemons. They throw orange peels. So they throw orange peels in it to help, enhance the flavor of it. So when I tried that, at that time we were mostly drinking beers to help chase, the taste of liquor.
Absolutely.
So if we were like taking shots or something, we wanted to keep the buzz going, so we didn't want to drown it out with juice or water or anything like that. So to keep the buzz going, we would, chase it with beer. So once I tasted that one, I was like, yo, this is pretty solid. We could probably drink this on a consistent basis. So I tasted that one, I put Jamel on, and we were, like consistently drinking Blue Moon. So we thought Blue Moon was like everything for like, it was like from 2008 when we started Craft Crew, probably like 8 years. For like a good, like it was a large amount of time, yo. It was so for like 8 years, and then I received the glass set from my wife. I started doing research on it, and liquor stores and all that stuff, they're closed around Christmas time. So I was like frantic, like damn, like I need this type of glass, I need this type of beer to go with this type of glass, I need this type of beer to go with this type of glass. Everything was closed, so I had to wait. And then once everything opened again, we had a spot on Prospect in West Hartford, that West Hartford borderline area. Really work?
I don't know if it works.
Yeah, listen. Listen, just because I'm economically viable does not mean I had to put batteries in the freezer. I've never done I've never done that. I've always been ignorant, and I shouldn't even say it. I've always been ignorant about buying batteries. Like if I never just buy a pack. I would usually all right, I gotta buy these batteries. Let me buy like 3 packs to keep it pushing.
So you use the towel, just buy your own batteries?
I mean, I'll make my mother get more than one set, Make her get more than one set. I mean, you can ask her. Yeah, I do not like running out of batteries and having batteries down me. It's the worst. And that's why I be mad at myself when that happened here. But, I forgot. I'd ask y'all about what? The sommelier and the beer situation, right? Yes. So what did you call that again?
So a beer expert is considered a cicerone. So basically, like Zell was explaining earlier, wax, my bad. You could throw a beer in the glass and they probably tell you what it was brewed with, like what hops, what flavor notes they get from the hops. What flavor notes they get from the hops and things of that nature.
So, what's the procedure, to even get to that point?
It's an online program. I think it's about $150, something like that for the first level.
Yeah.
Which is a beer server. you know, something basic. You know, they teach you how to pour beers. There's a certain way to pour.
You gotta tilt the cup.
Yeah, just to get all the flavor and flavor notes and hints of smells and everything from it.
Now, is that something either of them that I hate all over the
Not as we talked about it, we spoke about it, but
beginning, yeah.
we haven't got into it yet. We've just been a little busy trying to build a brand.
Yeah.
You know, we're putting money into the brand. You know, like
Now,
we ain't rich either. We broke too. So. You know what I mean?
hey, yo, Jay, hold up that can you sipping on over there. Talk to us about that Black is Beautiful.
Okay, so the Black is Beautiful initiative, it was launched by Weathered Souls and down in Texas. It was an initiative that was launched to help bring awareness to, you know, the injustices that Black people or people of color go through on a daily basis here, you know, in America. Not just in America, but, you know, like in the world in general, because anybody, you know, like any brewery globally was allowed to join that initiative. And as long as you join that initiative, 100% of the proceeds from the sales of those beers went towards your organization of choice. And as long as it has something to do with helping, you know, Black people or just, you know, people of color in the community, you know, gain more, you know, of some sort of, you know, like gain towards, you know, gaining recognition, you know, towards helping them, you know, because, you know, like nobody goes through more struggles than, you know, like Black people in America, man. And it's, if you don't see it on Instagram through all the brutality and stuff like that, like and that's facts, man. Like there's nothing else that you could say about it. As plain as day, and especially during, you know, these times, you know, during the pandemic with COVID and stuff like that. There's plenty. If you didn't see it before, like the footage is out there, man. Like I don't know what else. There's nothing else more that you could say. Like the proof is out there. So I was happy that you know, like Weather Souls, there was an employee over there by the name of Marcus. He's one of the head brewers over there. He was the one that came up with like the baseline of the recipe. So what they did was he came up with the baseline of the recipe. They came up with the initiative, and if you joined in, of course you could, you know, breweries could tweak the recipe any way that they wanted to. But as long as they join the initiative of Black is Beautiful, and, you know, they picked an organization to donate all the proceeds to that'll help fight towards the injustices that go towards people of color and Black people, you were allowed to join. So there were some questionable breweries that ended up joining, like Founders. And I think 56 Brewing out in Minnesota joined as well. But they've both been, you know, like caught up and, you know, like heavy, racial discrimination, biases towards Black people. Yeah, so.
Oh, they trying to put
Band-Aids on their bruises.
Yeah, so shout outs to Beer Culture. Shout outs to Tony Boyce. She's a writer for Beer Culture. She brought a lot of attention towards Founders, and you know, like the whole Black is Beautiful initiative. You know, for it to be, you know, donating all of its proceeds towards people, you know, of black people and people of color, you know, towards the injustices that go on towards us. We were glad to join in on it. So we collaborated with Hog River here in Hartford. They're all about the community. Shout out to AJ Kieran from 16 Ounce Canvas. He has a podcast called what is it, the art of the can or can art or something like that. I'm sorry, forgive me, AJ. But He's the one. He reached out to a lot of the breweries here in Connecticut to see who was willing to join that initiative. He tagged us, you know, of course, when he messaged Hog River here in Hartford, because it only made sense. We're kind of mainly, us being Craft Crew, we're mainly based here in Hartford. So he tagged us in that email, and Hog River was all on board to join the initiative. So we collaborated with them to create a Black is Beautiful beer. They already had the recipe in mind, so they brewed. We helped brew the beer, but you know, us here at Craft Crew, we picked the organization that we felt the proceeds should go towards, which was the Urban League of Greater Hartford, and you know, we're going from there, man. Like we're continuing to work. We ended last year, 2019, before COVID hit, with a toy drive, and you know, distributing toys to the less fortunate kids, like the urban areas of like New Haven and Hartford and stuff like that. And we just want to continue to provide for the community, man. Like that's what Craft Crew is all about. Of course, we want to widen the demographic, and we want to get more Black people and people of color. And I say that because I'm Black and Puerto Rican myself, James. Yeah. We started off with we started off mainly with Hanging Hills when they were based out in on Ledyard Street in the south end of Hartford, Connecticut, and we did a lot of brewery reviews over there. But shout out to our guy Joe Plouffe. He wanted to get us heavily involved, so we started off doing beer reviews over there. But he also wanted Black and Spanish people, everybody. He wanted everybody in his brewery, and for him being in the south end of Hartford, he felt that he only had one side of that, which was a lot of. So it was funny. So I'll tell the story. So when we first met Joe, it was for a beer release that they did a collaboration beer. It was a lime lager. So a lager is just like a lighter beer. So a lager is just like your basic like Budweiser or Bud Light and stuff like that. But
do y'all drink those? Are y'all into that type of beer, or is that like last resort? I just need to get wasted. The reason I asked, so one of these young boys
no.
Listen, so this young boy I work with, right? He's in college. Young boy, wow, funny dude, love him to death. He used to always be like, yo, like, what's with all the beers in your car? Like, you really like beer that much? He's like, no, I don't, but where else am I got? Like, I gotta see. He was like, he told me he got like a 24 pack for $7. Like, he's like, I'm not gonna get drunk for any cheaper than that. So
okay.
Yeah, I do buy beer. And I was like, oh, all right, I respect it.
Okay. So to go out, so all right, so I'm gonna respond to what you said just now, but to harp off of what I was saying, shout outs to Joe Plouffe and Hanging Hills, they making that comeback. But Joe brought us on because he understood our goals when we first met him. We told him our initiative, we told him everything that we were going for as far as widening the demographic in craft beer. We wanted to get more Black and Hispanic people involved and coming to the breweries and just enjoying craft beer because it was something better to drink in general. And I mean, whether you were getting into craft beer for ingredients and stuff like that, or whether you were getting into craft beer just to get fucked up, you could get it from both sides. You know what I'm saying? So to harp off of what you were just saying, there's higher. So he was drinking it just to get fucked up because it was cheap.
Yeah.
But you can also get good craft beer for cheap, and you can still get fucked up because it's a higher ABV. So the ABV is just a higher alcohol content inside of the beer per can. So whether you're drinking like little small like 8-ounce cans, or where you're drinking what they call like the tall boys, like the 16-ounce cans and stuff like that, you're guaranteed to drink a higher quality beer that tastes better, but you're also guaranteed to get fucked up more. You know what I'm saying? So when we set out on this venture with Craft Crew to widen the demographic, we wanted to bring more of our people in. So that's Black and Hispanic people, all of y'all. Whether you're drinking it, you know, if you want to become like a certified Cicerone, or, you know, and similar, a wine version of, or a beer version of a sommelier, or if you're just drinking it, that, you know, like, yo, I just had a hard ass day at work. I wanna get fucked up, man. Like, yo, I wanna forget the day. Boom, you could get that shit too. Cause what I'm drinking right now from the Black is Beautiful from Labyrinth Brewing in Manchester, this shit is the ABV is 10.2%. Shit, like.
Now, for those that want to support Black is Beautiful in CT, you know, where can they pick up some of those cans currently?
If you jump on, Black is Beautiful or Weather Souls, they have a website that you could jump on. So if you jump on either one of their websites, you could find all the breweries that actually joined that initiative, and you could find you can search whatever state, zip code, whatever. You can find every brewery that actually joined that initiative to support Black is Beautiful. But even, it's great if they supported Black is Beautiful, but even if they didn't, you could still find high ABV beers, man. Like, you could go out, you drink one from like Holland Brewing, the Dragon's Milk. We've had all types of beers that are high in ABV if you're just looking to get fucked up, man. Like, we could.
And then just the flavors and stuff, you know, like with your Corona and your Heineken, you kind of know what you get. You know what I mean? And then Bud Light dropped that Bud Light line when everybody went crazy over it. Like, craft beers does this. Like, this is what they've been doing. Yeah. So like the stouts, for example, they call them dessert stouts. So like I was telling Esteban earlier, coconut, cocoa nibs, peanut butter. When they throw peanut butter in the joint, that's like one of my favorite
stouts.
One of my favorite ones. So you got, you know, peanut butter.
That sounds like you're on an island with the taco meat out.
Yeah. So Dragon's Milk from Holland Brewing, like he spoke about earlier, they had a oatmeal cookie joint.
Oh wow.
That I
See,
had.
now, is there foods that pair well with these? Because you're talking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just not an expert in that area as of yet.
Okay.
But that's something that we're looking forward to trying to do in the near future. So what we started out this year with, James spoke on
They're fine.
he spoke on the toy drive we ended 2019 with. Before COVID hit this year, we started what we call a beer mixer. So basically,
shout out to Jamel. Jamel was the
beer mixer.
he the head honcho with that one right there,
Yeah,
yo.
so basically it's just like we just set up shop and some Black or Hispanic owned businesses that'll welcome us. We either buy or we'll not beg, but we call up our friends in the industry in Connecticut and see if they're willing to donate some beer. We give you like a little 2-ounce cup and it's free. Like we put all the money behind it and we just pour different styles. So like, for example, James was drinking a stout. I had the Marzen with what everyone knows as Oktoberfest. So we'll have like styles like this, IPAs, and we'll just pour up and drink. And we did them, you know, we don't like to plug, they don't like to plug places without plugging. Unknown Clothing in New Britain, they hosted our first joint. We were supposed to actually do one in March, the week after everything shut down. And we did that in January, and then in February we did at in the Cup Barber Lounge right next door. So so you know we looking to try to, like we said, widen the demographic and then boost up some of these small businesses in the area. You know, people that we know that we're connected with as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I respect
Hold on though. I gotta give more credit to Jamel on that one though, because I didn't even think of that idea as far as
mixing.
Not necessarily like mixing,
It's just a mix.
but just the name of it. Not just the name of it, but like the idea of it. So the fact that that the fact that he thought of, you know, like thinking of, you know, like coming to an area or a platform to bring, you know, like creating something that'll bring our people, our demographic into craft beer, which we ended up calling the craft beer mixer. Jamel is the one that came up with the idea, man, to link up with Unknown Clothing in downtown New Britain, and you know, to, you know, like establish an event that'll help bring, you know, our black people and people of color, you know, like Spanish, you know, whoever, Indian, everybody of, you know, that has a natural hue of color to their skin, man.
So I got a couple questions for you in regards to that.
So one, has our culture been receptive to the idea of jumping on like the whole craft beer wave? You know, and like, what is it, like if you had to put a percentage on, or like if you guys are going to these, I'm assuming there's events around craft beer outside of what you guys have put together.
Yeah.
You know, are you guys the only people of color there, and are our people receptive to what you guys are doing in terms of introducing this to them? Because like I said, when I reached out to these guys, I was like, yo, I'm trying to learn some things from these dudes, because I see y'all post, but I don't know anything about it. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to correct that ignorance. So who want to go first? I'll let who want to take that over? Which way?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
I mean, not to be cocky or anything, but like Craft Crew is like the only people in Connecticut that are actually doing what we're doing to actually widen the demographic here in Connecticut. There's other people here in Connecticut that actually do like beer reviews. Of course, that's what we started off doing, but we're not limited to just doing craft beer reviews. So craft beer reviews are just, you know, we started off just, you know, like taking like local craft beer from the craft beer brewers here in Connecticut, drinking it, sampling it, and, you know, like giving our thoughts on it and stuff like that. Because we figured, you know, my cousin James speaking right now, my cousin Alonzo from Any Video, he presented the idea. He gave the platform for, you know, he wanted to do like a black channel on Facebook, you know, like a black TV,
like a BET.
yeah, like a network. He wanted to launch a network on Facebook, you know, like a Black Wall Street TV type of thing. So he presented the idea to me. He was like, "Yo."
That shit was like a drop, James.
The Leo. No, but my cousin Zoe, shout out to Any Video. He presented the idea to me. He's like, "Yo, if you come up with an idea for a TV show, you know, I'll give you guys the producer credits and everything, and, you know, we'll put it out there." So at the time, this was, you know, like circa like 2017, January 2017.
Word of the night.
I went to Jamel. I was like, "Yo, you know, I don't see any black people out here in Connecticut doing, you know, like craft beer reviews. Like we're into craft beer, so, you know, let's make some shit that, you know, that'll bring our people in, yo. Like, at least if they see us drinking beer, then they'll get interested in drinking beer, yo. So, you know, let's do it." And, you know, Jamel was with it. So I was like, "Yo, let's fucking do it, yo. Fuck it," you know? So we ended up doing it, and, you know, it skyrocketed. Of course it skyrocketed because in general, it's just us going to breweries around Connecticut. You know, we're like, "Yo, we're trying to widen the demographic. We'll drink your beer on our show." Of course, we're promoting your beer for free. You know what I'm saying? And we're trying to drag our people in. So they're like, "Fuck yeah. If we can get people into our breweries," which is cool, but it's like, yo, if we could get people into our breweries to drink our beer, our people or whatever, then, you know, let's do it. We'll rock with it.
So follow up, the next question, I'm gonna send this one to Mel.
So when you guys go to these breweries, right, and you're like, "Yo, you know, let us have some of this. We're trying to bring our people into that." I'm assuming, majority of these breweries are obviously predominantly white. So obviously they know black people love to spend money. And that black dollar is a very powerful dollar. So are they usually receptive? Like, hell yeah, we'll work with you in that regard. Do you guys ever get any pushback? And how do you feel like them being like, just like, oh, you trying to get the black people in there? Hell yeah, let's do it. You know what I mean? What's your feelings or thoughts on it?
So the breweries in Connecticut, they're the ones we've dealt with, been very receptive towards it. They'll ask us questions what they feel they need to know and everything, but for the
You
most
say
part,
like what? Like, is it like what kind of people you about to have?
no, they'll ask like, what are you guys about? What are you guys doing? For the most part, like you said, like there's some genuine brewery owners who just want black people to enjoy craft beer like everyone else. So like you spoke about Joe. Once again, shout out Joe. Joe's a real genuine guy. Like he wants his brewery was, like he said, on the south end, so he wanted to bring them people in to drink his beer. You know what I mean? But there's also, like you spoke about earlier, the black dollar is powerful. And of course, people know the black dollar is powerful. So hell yeah, they want us in there to drink their beer. When you walk into a brewery, no offense to no one, but there's no brothers like us in the brewery. There's brothers there, but not like us. Like we bring the whole swag, the hip hop, the fashion, anything that got to do with like hip hop, we bring into the brewery.
Bring our culture.
Yeah, exactly. Our culture, we bring it right into the brewery. But the blacks you see in there aren't.
They ain't us, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
They not, yo.
So
we've seen that shit a lot, yo.
But the thing is too, there is a lot of people that drink craft beer. A lot of blacks and Hispanics that drink craft beer. Like doing these events, you run into people. You know what I mean? Like, cats like, oh, yo, I've been here, I've been there, I did this, I did that, I drank this, I drank that. Yo, you had this, you had that. So, we're trading beer all the time with people that we met through these events.
All right, so here's a two-part question. Or I should say a question for both of y'all. How far do you want to take Craft Crew? And in your own words, what is Craft Crew truly about? Like in terms of what do you guys want to achieve? Is this a national thing? Do you want to go global? Like, do you want to strictly sell merch? You guys want to have your own brewery? Like, how far do you want to push this?
So that question's kind of perfect right now because we literally just had this discussion. So bounce back to beer culture. Shout out beer culture. The one of the founding members of beer culture, like he stepped back into the game because he got real deep into it, and all the politics and the bullshit that was with it, he wasn't with it. So he was done with it. So at that time, him and James were having conversations about it via text and phone calls, and James felt the same way. Like, yeah, he's like, there's a lot of bullshit going on. Basically, breweries wanting to use us as black men as puppets. You know what I mean? To sell whatever they're trying to sell. Podcasts, mix beers, try to collab with beers just so they can sell beer. So James felt that same way, and I said, listen, I didn't get into this to get all political. You know what I mean? We got into it to widen the demographic and have a good time and enjoy some craft beer. And he still felt that way for a while, and then he thought about it, and basically, we want to keep it. We want to go as big as we can go without getting political. Like once we feel we too deep in the game, we gonna pull back from it. So we work, like he said, with a couple breweries in Connecticut. We worked with one brewery so far, and we're in talk. Well, we already had the talks, but another beer collaboration is coming with another brewery in Connecticut. We'll announce that at a later date.
Yeah.
Even if y'all want us to come up here real quick, and do a little drop promo with y'all. But so we're working with another brewery in Connecticut to drop. But we got supporters, as far as California right now. So like that's dope for us and that's cool. We just don't want to get too deep into it. You know what I mean? Like we actually in the process of solidifying it as a business.
Supporters in California, and I'm gonna tell you why it's funny and a beautiful thing at the same time. It's like these people, obviously we're all from New Britain. There's people in New Britain who I passed like, yo, you want to subscribe to our channel? Like, you want to check out the podcast? They're like, nah, I don't subscribe to anybody on YouTube. And like, I literally can post a video or something on Twitter. There's like these two dudes in California. Like, if I even like remotely look like I'm active, they're in my inbox. Yo, we put out new content. Yo, send me a shirt. I'll pay whatever for it. You know what I mean? Like, these dudes be on it and show me like the most support ever.
Yeah.
Versus like some of your local people. So
Yeah,
I can
that's
imagine
true.
how to deal
You
with
know,
it, too.
Yo, that's been true even with just, not even just with podcasts, but even with music.
Right. of
Because I
course.
remember hearing like Little Brother, like Fonte and Big Pooh, like when they used to drop shit and they're like,
Classic group.
what Fonte even said in the song, like, yo, like we'll drop globally or some shit like that, and we won't even get love from my own hometown or whatever. Like, man, fuck y'all, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. So like
So when you pop, they're like, oh, we always love y'all, man. Like, fuck
yeah,
y'all.
because we don't even stress that hometown love like that. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Like whoever adapts to it.
Right. I mean, I don't stress it. I just think it's like interesting takes.
Yeah.
Whoa, like you just sitting there like, wait, you learn not to expect things from certain people. Like I've learned not to expect people that I know to support what we do. It's pretty much if you're gonna support it, you're gonna support it. If you're not, you're not. You know?
Just take that and let us move on. When they first reached out to me, I was like, it's nothing. I want to.
Wow, love.
What? Like,
Wow, love. We was nobodies back then in Bub Show. Wow, love.
Yo,
You know what I mean?
so to harp on what Bub just said though, Bub showed love before we even had an episode out, man. I remember Jamel putting out like the mass call because when we first started out, when we wanted to do the Craft Crew show, we wanted to put everybody on Connecticut on. So if you did music, if you did clothing, if you did art, whatever, we wanted to put everybody on. So when we shot our show, we were at Jamel's cousin's studio, DMTS Radio, downtown New Britain. Our setup, we wanted, like local Connecticut artists. If they had art, we wanted to hang it up in the back. If they had clothing, we wanted to wear it. If they had music, we wanted to play it during the episode when we were, like reviewing the beer and shit like that. And before we even shot an episode, Jamel put out the mass call, and Bub, for DCYOP, Direction Choose Your Own Path, man, like he jumped on board from the jump. And I remember because I was at work. I was at work working at a group home in West Hartford, and Holmes pulled up. He was just like, yo, boom. So he handed me like loads of clothing, yo. And I'm like, damn, hats and shirts and sweaters and all that shit. And I'm like, yo, I told him what we were trying to do. He was all for it. We wore his stuff. And till this day, man, like, we still shout out DCYOP, man. I even talked with, at the time, I even talked with Joe, one of the head brewers over at Hanging Hills, and Bub ended up getting a collaboration with them, with Hanging Hills, and he did a hat for them, which I still have till this day. I ended up going to the brewery, ended up buying that shit just to, to support. So we always got love for Bub and DCYOP forever, man. Like, we still, granted that over the years, like we've come along, and like Craft Crew, we're trying to create our own brand as well, and we have the following now. So we've like created our own following. We're coming out, with our own clothing and stuff like that. But we're still always down to wear Connecticut shit. And speaking of right now, as we're shooting this podcast, you can see on the camera and shit, like I'm wearing Ill Heroes. I finally got an Ill Heroes hat. Jamel is rocking his shit. It got the state bird and this the state bird, the state flower on the side over here. Shout out to Ill Heroes. I was trying to get a snapback from him, like seemed like fucking like 8 years ago and shit.
He going hibernation for a few years.
But man, like, I mean, us at Craft Crew, man, we just want to put our people on. So if it's through craft beer, if it's through music, if it's through clothing, whatever it is, man, like we just want to put Connecticut on. That shit will never die. So not, aside from us just trying to widen the demographic in craft beer, still to this day, man, like we want to put everybody in Connecticut on if we can, man. So, like in our theme song, the craft crew theme song, we have Born Yonder. That's one of my boys' little brothers from back when I was working at the Polo store, like fucking 2010. My boy Donald, shout out to Donald, shout out to BY, shout out to Gov, that's my cousin that did the beat for our theme song. Shout out to Bub for lacing us with the clothing in the beginning and everything. And shout out to the Brokest podcast, and
that's what that meant.
So before we wrap it up, right? Shout out to a longtime supporter, my man JR. You know JR.
What up, man? You already know who it is, Nicois.
So he sent me this link, and he wants to get our reaction from this.
Yeah.
So
Hold that thought for 2 seconds.
Nicois.
So, alright, he sent this record, right? It's by somebody named B. Laurent. Name of the track is
it's Squat Booty. So Squat Booty. I'm gonna just pass this around and let everybody get a couple glimpses of it.
that sounds like
Like some Cardi B and
Hold up.
Spot Booty.
I hope you don't get dinged for this. Oh, you gotta come in and see this, bro. It's hilarious.
Turn it up.
Yo, this like Flight Boy Tyrell, teabagging.
Pretty much. Yeah, he really got the damn fitness chicks in there, like the MPC competitors.
You got snow bunnies in there, okay?
He got the right thing. He got sex appeal, and he like niggas gonna watch this.
You got no asses though.
There's enough skin showing. Niggas don't care.
Squat Booty.
Sound like real.
That sounds like.
That sound like some.
Where the ass at though?
That sound real black youngster to me.
Hold on, when you doing squat, that shit, hold on though.
That shit sounds like.
Jake said he ain't see no ass. That's what Jake talking about.
When you doing squats, the whole purpose of doing squats is to gain the ass, right?
See, he had the competition body chicks in there. My question is he for real? Like, is he serious about it?
Shot that shit.
Yes, he's serious.
Like, that would be my first question.
Not with snow, but
He's serious though.
Like I said.
Like, you trying to make a rap career? Like, you a personal trainer? Like, trying to get the rap career popping with this?
Squat booty. Let me
Get the squat booty.
That sound like some black youngster shit.
It do.
He's doing. I ain't gonna hate.
there was no color in there.
Nah, it definitely wasn't.
That wasn't it.
See, it was
I
this.
know, I
thing
remember when Ludacris made the shot at Bill O'Reilly. He was like, "Yo, I'm the new phenomenon, like white women with ass." But in that video right there, I was like, I didn't see any of that. Like, I don't know.
I don't know if y'all ever seen this video on YouTube, and it was this group that had like Friday Fertilize. That was the name of the song. How you like your egg? That's what that shit reminded me of. It was like some parody of that. How you like your eggs? Friday Fertilize.
Yo, I think this is the most non-hip hop episode we've done in terms of talking, which is fine though, because this is still all within the culture. You feel me? But before we get out of here, because I don't want to hold y'all up too much longer. Anybody got anything else to get off their chest before we go?
What was that?
Anybody got anything to get off their chest? Hold on, let the extra light skin. He the lightest of the lightest, so we're gonna start with the lightest of the lightest.
All I gotta say is basically, man, we as black people just gotta come together a little bit more, like we doing here, support one another. Yeah, I mean, we might not all blow up or go globally or become rich off of it, but support go a long way.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be here, you know.
All right. I appreciate y'all guys for coming through. You know, we've been trying to get y'all on for a minute, but you know, our schedules and you know, it just been madness. Yeah, and COVID just pretty much tore some shit up. But I'm happy we finally got. I'm happy we finally get to do it. But with that being said, you know, be on the lookout. I got a new hoodie that's about to drop. I think I'm gonna drop it next week. I also got the Energy on Hold t-shirts available right now as well. That concept right there, I'm kind of like, I did 3 different versions of that Energy on Hold because I think that there's a powerful message in that. You know what I'm saying? That Energy on Hold design concept that I came out with. But that's it, man. Just be on the lookout for my new pieces I'm dropping. It's hoodie season, baby. Let's get it.
Man, Brokest Podcast shirts available if you want them. You know, bang my line, 1-800. We broke. Bang my line. Nah, I'm joking. Nah, hit me up on our Instagram, Twitter. Anybody interested? We still got some. Man, shout out to, you know, all the listeners. Like I said, this is the best podcast no one's ever heard of. So, you know, hit that like button, share this video, and smash that subscribe button. Let's get these numbers up.
You already know it's Stephon Ray. I'm doing everything, but I'm doing nothing at the same time. And yeah, man, CT stand up. Merry Christmas.
Yo,
James.
this my boy right here, yo. Yo, James in the building representing.
Oh, real quick, what's the Instagram?
Oh yeah, drop that line.
Yo, so Instagram, we're at I ain't giving y'all my personal shit because that's my wife and my family and nah, fuck that, yo. And I'm not going through that, going with Craft Crew. I'm gonna tag my personal shit in some of our our photos, and I get these friend requests, and I'm like, nah, nigga, like, yo, y'all follow the craft beer page. Y'all don't gotta follow my personal life and shit, goddamn. But I appreciate the opportunity to come on this podcast here, man. I had a ball. I kind of want to talk music a little more, y'all. I had a little bit more to offer as far as music goes and shit like that. But
I was just about to say, we could always have
Save
a
it
part
for the next
2.
episode.
no,
This is
yeah,
an educational episode right here.
I definitely want to come back on and talk more music, yo.
But listen, when y'all come back, I need that shirt.
No, we got you. We already gave Bub one. That was mandatory. We had to give one to Bub, yo, because when we had got the shirts, I was like, come on now. I was like, yo, we got to give one to Bub, because Bub looked out hands down when we first started off before we even had shit, period. But I appreciate the opportunity of coming on this podcast, man. James the Leo coming through.
We're going to get a shirt that says
Huh? On Twitter, we had the letter C, Crew 14, because Craft Crew 14 on Twitter was taken by some gamer. And on Instagram, we're at
petition to let him give y'all that.
man. Hopefully, I mean, with our boy Antron, our third member Antron, getting us all these damn social media followers. I'm pretty sure we could make a viable cause for that in the future, yo. Give us our name on Twitter, but on Instagram you can find us at Craft Crew 14, and on Facebook.
Like the start of a reparation. They just give
On Facebook you can find us at www.facebook.com/craftcrewct. And, you know, we're just continuing to, you know, provide for our communities, man, and widen the demographic and craft beer. We appreciate, we'll jump on any opportunity that we can, man, to, you know, like further our other black people that, you know, whether it's podcasts, whether it's beer, you know, we all on, man. Clothing lines, music, you know, like hit us up, and you know, we in full support, man. So, you know, let's get it.
Black.
Let's go.
Now, thank y'all for coming on, man. I appreciate y'all being here. I definitely learned some stuff. I forgot what was it? What was that? What did you call the joint again? Not the sommelier.
Cicerone.
The Cicerone. So I got some reading to do about some Cicerones. Yeah, keep us updated with what y'all got going on. You know, we're gonna show love,
Like Mexico or something.
show love where we can show love, and I think that's it. We good, right? Everybody good? Brokest podcast, you know. Peace.